more analysis of what Rob's been saying and all our other guests on the G7. And it seems the issue of Iran, one of the prominent themes, if not the prominent theme. Let's bring in Barbara Slavin, Director of the Future Iran Initiative. Barbara, thanks for being with us as ever. It's always a pleasure to have you on the programme. This may be seen by some as a masterstroke by Emmanuel Macron, bringing the Iranians into the G7.
Well, I think it's a little early to call it that. This is an admirable effort by President Macron. But we have to remember that President Trump may make good mood music now, but he is also probably going to deal with a lot of controversy within his own administration. He has a number of very prominent hawks who will not want to see him make any concessions to the Iranians. And the Iranians, it's not just that they might be willing to talk to the United States. They want to see some concrete sanctions relief. President Trump hinted at that. He talked about credit for Iran, a credit line which has been discussed, kind of payment for future oil deliveries that's been discussed in the European Union. But will John Bolton sign off on that? Will Mike Pompeo sign off on that? How big a price is the U.S. willing to pay for a meeting between President Trump and President Rouhani?
And in the light of what you just told us, Barbara, do you feel there is a possibility that this US-Iran meeting, summit, call it whatever we like, may well happen?
I would not give it very high odds right now. We have to wait and see what the United States is prepared to do, what the United States is prepared to promise. For President Rouhani simply to go into a meeting with Trump, and Trump loves to meet with foreign leaders. He loves the attention and the publicity. But for President Rouhani to go into such a meeting and come out of it empty-handed would be very, very damaging to him, especially in terms of domestic politics. So, this is all very nice, and certainly de-escalation is something we all should want in terms of the Persian Gulf. We've seen a lot of incidents there lately, but I don't think we're there yet in terms of an actual meeting.
So from Macron's perspective, it's perhaps one point to him for playing the role of a chief world diplomat, which is possibly how he'd like to spin it. But from the other side of it, it sounds like you're saying that it is a lot of good words. It seems unlikely this will carry through to proper action and proper action on real issues affecting Iran.
Yeah, the Iranians need to be able to sell some more oil or get credit for future oil deliveries in order to buy humanitarian goods, food, medicine from Europe. It needs this both economically and as a political gesture. So, there's been talk about this mechanism that was set up by the European Union. Let's see if the United States actually lets it get off the ground, doesn't sanction it. Remember, the United States has also sanctioned Javad Zarif. So, how exactly are these talks supposed to take place? There's a lot that has to be clarified.
Barbara Slavin, Director of the Future Iran Initiative, thank you very much indeed for your analysis, and thank you for joining us here on France 24. Pleasure to see you.